So we are live, live, and live, and alive. we are grateful for that. Okay, so I am now live, and let me see if I can see someone tell me that they can see and hear me. So we are waiting for someone in the world. Gary is getting online. Gary and John, I know I was thinking of getting online myself.
Princeton is live now, but we're on the network here, so it doesn't prove that the world at large.
Oh yeah, somebody's here. Okay, so Deja, hello, you have won. So let me know for what you would like me to do a spiritual mind treatment, and it is yours. And if someone else chimes in, you'll get it too. So if you're number 2, you also get a special spiritual mind treatment. And yes, for those of you who won weeks and months ago and never collected, you may still collect. So get your good while it's rising to the top. All right, so we've got a few of you out there, and we've got many more of you here. And let me do a spiritual mind treatment. Okay, Joe, yes, you also have won a spiritual mind treatment, an affirmative prayer. So let me know for what that is. Okay, great. All right. This word is being spoken for each one. And if there is anyone or any place on the planet you would like to have included, just think of that name, that place now, and know that the infinite mind knows what you mean, and it or they are included. And so the truth is that there is one life. It is everything that this universe is, and it is the potential of everything that it ever could be. It is alive. It is filled, brimming with possibilities. It is creative. It is intelligent, and it is powerful. And this is the life. Any belief that this life is boring or the same, or that there is nothing new under the sun, any belief that all possible choices have been recognized and tried, any and all belief in the same old consciousness, any belief that one is stuck, that one cannot change, any belief that one has completed everything possible that there is to living, is all exposed by the very reality of this universe to be a lie, and is by this word, acted upon by that divine law, erased, eliminated, vanished, and gone. Each one is set free of any belief that would cause one to be stuck, paralyzed, or inflexible. Any fear of moving forward, any clinging to that which is old, any fear or belief in lack, loss, or limitation is all erased and evaporated. That one life that is omnipresent, that is the universe, and it is what this universe is doing. This universe is expanding. This universe is forever producing new forms, things that are built from what has gone on before, but goes far beyond. Everything in this universe is designed and is going far beyond what it had been in a prior formation. And so the truth is that that is the truth of the life of each one, that each one is living a life right now that is brimming with potential, with infinite possibilities, with a freedom to choose fresh, new, to make a decision about one's forward movement, and to start a chain of causation that is moving each one into an experience of greater good, greater than anything that has gone on before. So whatever would hold one back, whatever would make one afraid to move forward, all belief that there is some sort of choice one could make that is a mistake, that is wrong, that could hurt, that could harm, is all vanished and gone. This universe absolutely has as its nature the production of that which is beyond what has been. And this is the nature of each one. There is something within each one now that is bringing to each one now guidance of realizing something about life, something about themselves, something about future possibilities yet to be, a glimmer of what could be, what revolutionary vision of oneself that is unlike anything that one has expressed so far, a whole new personality, a whole new freedom of choices. Wherever one had believed that one couldn't possibly do something, there is now an opening where, yes, it could be done. Who knows? And so each one is now open to this seeing of future possibilities yet to be. And in seeing the future possibilities yet to be, those possibilities are becoming more real, not just possible, but even probable and even available. And so each one's sphere of availability is expanded now. That which was little, that which was small, that which was playing close, that was built on fear, on a belief in lack, loss, limitation, a belief in hurt and pain, a belief in some sort of personal concept that that's not what I am like. It's all vanished, gone. Each one is set free of all of that and allowed to be that which each one is. A fresh, bright, new spark of divine creation with all the qualities of the divine present, with all the possibilities of living and expressing this life available, and consciousness where all doors and windows are open, where there is full and complete support of the entire universe, helping each one move into these new realizations and new identifications of what is possible to experience as a life. And so all need to be the same as other people. All need to do what everybody else is doing. All habit of checking with what other people are saying and doing. And any unconscious or conscious avoidance of thinking a new thought within oneself, as well as any personal judgment or rejection of the new idea that one thinks, any thought that one's new personal idea is not good enough, is not smart enough, is not intelligent enough, is all erased, evaporated, and vanished. Each one is receiving these fresh new ideas direct from the divine, direct from the light of spirit, the infinite possibilities yet to be. And with this divine light, each one is seeing a whole future that is filled with blessings, wonderful experiences, warm, wonderful new relationships, and a deepening and connection of all relationships that are there. Each one is seeing an experience of being supported financially, energetically, physically, environmentally, and in all ways in a whole new, easy way of living. Each one is able to accept that there are talents and abilities unique to each one that are far beyond anything that they may have been expressed so far. Any belief that one is not creative is erased and vanished. Each one is seeing the creativity that is present within them, that it is natural, that it is part of nature, it is part of their nature. And so out of this eternal possibility of creativity taking form, each one is seeing their future taking form, bright with promise. Each one is filled with hope, with daringness, with an eager anticipation of the good yet to be. Each one is filled with delight and a thrill of what they can contribute to this world. Each one is noticing and enjoying the experience of realizing the value that they are by being here now on this planet. Each one is appreciating themselves, appreciating their creativity, appreciating their value, their essential essence that cannot be replicated anywhere else. Each one is appreciating their uniqueness and is seeing with wide new eyes that each one is no longer bound, not bound by ancestral inheritance, not bound by the full sum total of past decisions that one may have made. One is no longer even bound by an entire lifetime of habit. Each one is set free of all that, to see with new eyes, to feel the promptings within this universal heart, to become an eager co-creator and contributor to the future of the human race, to be, wherever he or she is, a positive blessing, a positive force to the human race. Each one is risen above the mass mind groupthink consciousness and seeing with fresh eyes, seeing the way, seeing the new possibility, seeing the solution, knowing in the heart that which mind can conceive, that this human can experience and create and be and receive. And this is the consciousness of each one. So that each one is vital, alive, fully present, fully alert, fully aware, fully standing in the now, in the here, and seeing the possibility in every relationship with every person, in every environment, in every situation. Each one is seeing the greater good that is there as potential. And in that seeing, each one is experiencing it, realizing it, actually observing that greater good emerge into reality, into experience, into form. This is the truth. This is the life that the divine is living, that the universe is being. It is the life of each one, claimed right now by each one. And so it is the future of each one. And each one is calm, relaxed, at peace, and tranquil with this infinite possibilities yet to be, knowing that of these infinite possibilities, there are those that shall be, and that each one here is the chooser of what shall be. And everything in the universe says yes, agrees to it, supports it, and colludes to make it happen. I am grateful that this is the truth, so I release this word to the law. I'm glad that I said it, and it's done, and so it is. I'm glad I said it. Okay, good. Collude with the universe. Great words. All right, so we got Reverend Rich here singing away.
I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
And so we take this moment to connect with our heart. And after that spiritual mind treatment, We can sense things within us that we might not have noticed before. And so let's open to the newness, to the new good, to the new hope, to the new promise of greater good, and realize that somehow we are supported in it and that we will be delivered the goods that our heart desires. And so it is.
I am opening, I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
Good morning. My name is Mary Vercondi, and I'm a practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton. We are a loving, healing, inclusive community which teaches and practices the principles of the science of mind for the well-being of ourselves and the world. So I welcome you this morning. We meet here at the Masonic Temple on Sunday mornings, and we're also live online, and this will be posted later in the day in case you want to listen to it again or you were not up to join us at 10 o'clock. And also on Wednesday evenings, this is the third Wednesday of the month, so there will not be an evening inspiration this week. But next week will be the final opportunity to participate in Stuart Grayson's wonderful meditation, which includes world work. And November will be the perfect time to dig deeper into gratitude work. On October 24th is our new practitioner induction ceremony, and afterwards we're having a celebration with food and beverage. It is a potluck, so if you would like to volunteer to bring something, please contact Susan Mead. She is coordinating that. And so I welcome you all here this morning. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Reverend Rich, take it away.
I am the love of God. 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 I am love. I am love. I am the love of God. I am love. I am love. I am the love of God. You are 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 love. You are love. You are the love of God. You are love. You are love. You are the love. Big finish. We are the love of God. 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 We are love. We are love. We are the love
Good morning. I'm John Herron. I'm a licensed practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Princeton. And it's great to see everybody, either physically seeing people or virtually seeing everybody. I know you're out there. I can see you. So many things come to mind. I just love the treatment that Reverend Karen gave. You know, the universe says yes. Do you say yes back? Is the question. And it's funny because I had decided this morning, like Reverend Rich and like many of us, I'm reading this book called Spiritual Healing by Dr. Stuart Grayson, who was Reverend Karen's teacher. It's out of print, but if you look for it, you'll find there are copies out there, and it's pretty wonderful. And it just so happens I was reading something and I thought, oh, I'd like to read that, because I get the blessing of standing up here and reading these wonderful things, and it just really connects with what Reverend Karen was treating for. So let me read a few little sections here. This is the creative process of the One, always producing something greater, larger, better, more fulfilled, more harmonious, more abundant than has been experienced. You get that? Always. Always. This is the yes that the universe says to us. Always producing something greater, larger, better. Do you say yes to it? Because that's what this teaching is. We are learning how to say yes to what is, to the truth. That's what this teaching is. Joy, well-being, abundance, peace are meant to be. The universe is simply saying yes, and the way I think of it is it's like an invitation to a party. The invitation is infinitely there. We just have to show up. That's all. We just have to say, send the RSVP. I'll be there. That's it. The universal presence is absolute love expressing through law. This is a cornerstone of our thinking. Love and law. Call it divine love, universal love, absolute love, infinite love. It doesn't matter how we label it, what words we use. It doesn't even matter in some ways how we think of it. It is what is. The invitation is there waiting for us to say, hey, I'm coming to the party. Right? It is a love beyond our perception. We glimpse only little hints here and there from our experiences of what that principle of love must be. It is an eternal love, ever giving. It expresses around you, around me, and around us all, and giving to us continually. The question is, what is the level and extent of our acceptance? Are we saying yes? The universal principle of life is ever giving, giving, giving all the time. Health, abundance, peace is a part of a yes to life, a yes to wholeness, a yes to harmony, to well-being, to creativity. It is a yes to the essential good that must reverberate through your consciousness. A yes. The universe says yes. Do you say yes in return? The bigger your yes, the more full, the more open it is, the more that you participate. One note here, something I've been thinking about a lot lately. As practitioners, we do spiritual mind treatment, and it's very easy, and I've found that there's a part of my mind that thinks we're creating something when we do a treatment. And I'm learning that is not what it is, at least in my consciousness. It is already. The yes is there. It is being said. The invitation has been delivered. So it's not a matter of creating something. It's a matter of knowing the truth that the yes is already there waiting for us to RSVP and say, I'm coming to the party. Right? So the question is, are you coming to the party? Are you getting dressed up? Are you ready for it? Or you think, I don't really want to go to the party. I'll think about it. I'll show up. The party's going on. Are you coming to the party? That seems to me to be the question and what's opening up for me. And I've changed the way I do treatment now. I'm just, oh yeah, the truth is there. It's already there. There's nothing to be created. There is no healing to be done. The healing has been done. The universe is that healing. It's just waiting for us to say yes to it. So that's what I think this teaching is. We learn how to say yes to the truth that already is there. We're not creating anything that wasn't there before. It is here, always, right here, right now. Do we accept the invitation and do we go to the party, is the question. So let's all say yes. Yeah, let's all say yes. Yeah, and that yes is infinite loving, right? The infinite loving is always present. Just open up and say yes to it. Thank you. Oh, that's right. I'm here to do.
You said yes.
I said yes. That's it. Yeah. Reverend Karen said, aren't you doing a treatment? That's what I'm supposed to be up here for. I think the treatment has already been done. I'm just saying yes to it. So, knowing this truth that the universe is one infinite yes, infinite love, always present. And if the universe is that means that each one of us are that yes. Each one of us is that yes. That yes reverberates in our lives, in each one's life. And therefore, I know that this meeting today, each one participating in this service, each one who wishes they were participating in this service, the world itself reverberates with this yes. And I know that each one is now discovering the yes that is eternally vibrating as the universe. And each one discovers this as greater and greater good in their lives. Each one knows this greater good, and it shows up in each one's life. This is the infinite divine good, and each one is now saying yes to it. This yes reverberates in each life as health, as abundance, as great relationships, as perfect work and busyness, as the whole being human, the whole business of being human, now reverberates with yes, the yes of the universe. And I know this to be true. And since this is so, with great openness and gratitude, I say yes. I release this to the law, and so it is.
Many pray along the way. They don't stop to wonder the world is coming to. They let something higher reveal the way to greater love. Oh yeah, so the world is telling me, sing of liberation for the ones who are not free. Love can take us higher, reveal the way to higher love. Oh yeah, so we let it wash over us, we let it make us kinder, let it make us better, we let it be. We let it early in the morning, we let it hold us together, we let it down forever, we let it be, we let it. Some cry along the way, walking through the sadness, oh, world that needs to know. Love can take us higher, reveal the way to greater love. Oh yeah, so the world is telling me love's the only answer, and to all humanity we can stay inspired, reveal the way to higher love. Oh yeah, so we let it early in the morning, we let it hold us together, we let it down forever, we let it be, we let it wash over us, we let it make us kinder, let it make us better, we let it be, we let the love wash over us. We let it be joy. We let the joy wash over us. Yes, we let it be. Please let the peace wash over us. Yes, we let it be. We let it be. We let it be. Now, Reverend Karen.
And here she is, letting it be. All right, so that song is our spiritual practice for this week. So you've got advance notice. Easy peasy.
Ricky Byers.
Ricky Byers. Okay, let it be, let it be. But what are you letting be? That's the question. So we're beginning focus on prosperity. That'll take us till the rest of this year. We might have to spill over into next year. And we'll have some diversions along the way. Next Sunday, we're having our recognition of our new practitioners. So even though prosperity is going to be a through line, we might have Thanksgiving gratitude and other little things going on. But we will not be distracted from prosperity, because I'm using a little book written by E.V. Ingranham, Ingraham, called Wells of Abundance. It was written in 1938. So that is the year our current Science of Mind textbook was printed. And I don't know where this book has been all these years. I think it got sent to me by a publishing house for review, as a review copy, and ended up on my bookcase along with thousands of other books. So who knows how long I've had it, and why did I start looking at it now? Is clearly an example of divine guidance. All right, so he says that there are 7 different planes of supply, or ways we experience the supply of the universe. And his very first sentence says, at the root of most human difficulty lies the eternal problem of supply in some of its phases. In fact, supply must include that which supports every phase of our nature, and every difficulty involves some lack of proper support. In other words, the spiritual principle that we stand upon when we talk about prosperity is that we are a creation of this infinite life, and this infinite life supports its creations. And that includes us. We are supported. And so if we are having a problem in our human world, Ingraham suggests, or says outright, that there's something that is causing us to not be supplied with what we need. And so we have to understand these 7 different ways that supply comes to us, because we might be jamming up the works in one of those ways. And the very first one, I think you're going to find very interesting. He calls it the law of absorption. And he says it's the simplest form of supply. It is the level of receiving supply in the vegetable, the plant kingdom, which is, it absorbs. It just absorbs the nutrients, the water, the sunlight. It just absorbs. There's no choice to it. It just absorbs. And so he writes, in this field of absorption, an organism merely absorbs from its immediate surroundings all of the elements necessary to its maintenance and growth. But when human beings descend to this plane, they vegetate or retrograde. We belong on a plane much higher than the vegetable. He says that we must learn to live upon our own plane if we are to flourish as a human being. And so, absorption. How do we know if we're living at that plane? Well, one of the signs is to be thinking like this. Humans who try to live on this absorption plane alone think that the world owes them a living. They become leeches and parasites. That wouldn't be us, right? No. We expect supply to be furnished by those who are more industrious. It is a conscious, so that we're not blaming and shaming ourselves with this, it's a consciousness of somehow believing you don't have what it takes. You can't make it. The world is against you, or just your upbringing, your environment, your situation, your physical condition, somehow because of some way that, something that you have about yourself, you may be believing, well, that's it, I can't do anything. I just need to be supplied by those others who need to be guilted into supplying me with what I need. Right? And so he writes, they are the beggars who have lost their station in life by expecting support without giving an equivalent in return. And so we want to become aware that no matter what your situation is, you are still a creation of this divine creator, and you've been supplied with certain divine qualities, and they are yours to give. He mentions that, you'll notice, the more necessary any element is to the sustaining of life, the more there is of it. The easier it is to contact, and the more impossible it is for anyone to separate you from it or charge you anything for it. Now, when I first read that, I'm like, what is he talking about? I don't get that. Like, what's he talking about? So what is it that is necessary to our life that we can't be charged for it? And we can't be separated from it? Well, the planet. It's necessary. The whole universe is necessary for us to be here. We take it for granted, but it's supplied to us. It's the supply of it began, 15, 20 billion years before we showed up. But it's supplied free and clear. We can gaze out at night at the stars. We can bask in the sun. We can look out at this nature, and we can be receiving the beauty, the sunlight, the magnificence, all that it entails. It's given to us free and clear. And so at that level, it is abundance for us. It's abundance. The universe is a gift of abundance. Without it, we don't exist, right? We don't. So we've got the universe. We've got the quality of air, which is ours. We've got we are supplied with a human form through which we can express ourselves. It doesn't matter if there's a particular aspect of ourselves that we might not have freedom of motion or total use or whatever, but we've got all these other senses and abilities to express ourselves in this form that we are. I love the book. Years ago, I read it for our first Thanksgiving service called The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. And it's this beautiful story written by a man who developed some sort of condition. I forget what it was. It might have been an accident. He was in a car accident. See, people know it. And he was unable to move his entire body. And he wrote this book by blinking one eyelid. He could move that eyelid and express. Here he was being supplied round the clock for his very life itself by the nurses and the physical care all around him. And yet he was giving what he had. And it was, expressed through that eyelid blinking. He was explaining how the body, his body, felt like a diving bell. Heavy, immovable, but his mind was still a butterfly. And there he was fluttering with his eyelid. Whoa! I mean, even that person to realize that gift with that situation. So the thing is that every one of us has this supply of life, and when we are focusing on what we're missing or what other people got supplied with. I like to go to Spring Lake, and I sit there looking at these beachfront homes, mansions, and I sit there and I wonder, why don't I have that? Why do they have that, and why do I not have that? What's wrong with my consciousness? And so there I am, turning away from the ocean, looking at these beautiful mansions and wondering what it would be like to live there, and why am I not living there, and what do I need to think in order to get living there? Or actually, I don't want to own the house. I just want them to give me free access to their house. I think I'm operating at this vegetative state. I just want to absorb what they've got and do nothing for it. And yet at the same time, there I am at the beach. And if I turn around and look in the opposite direction, I've got the infinite ocean at my disposal, there for me to absorb. And when I turn that way, I am fed. We are nourished. He said that these things that are supplied to us nourish us. But we need to be aware of it and accept it. He says, okay, it's more complicated at the level of shelter, clothing, and food, right? But at the level of water, air, consciousness, love, peace, any of the qualities of the divine, it's plentiful. It gets easier and easier for us to accept supply on these levels, through these forms. And we need to realize it. He said, we must take the time to enjoy this food for our soul that is in infinite supply. Beauty, music, fragrant odors, the fineness of the sense of touch. That it requires our attention to absorb. As Reverend Rich's song was, we let the love, was it flow wash over us. This is practicing the law of absorption at the spiritual level that we humans can operate at. It requires attention to go, to turn, to look at the ocean. Right here, those of us who are here at the Masonic, we've got all these windows, and we can look out at the canal and at all these trees, and the leaves are changing, and there's this roaring little river bubbling down there, and the sun is shining. And it requires us to look at it, to absorb it, to listen to it. When we're absorbing something, we're paying attention. We're listening to it. We're absorbing it. We're letting it nourish us. And we are affected by it. I spent a day at the shore, and I was sitting there knitting, and I finished my little shawl that I was knitting, and I put it around me, and I thought, let me take a picture of myself to see how pretty the shawl was. And, the sun's shining down, and the wind's blowing my hair off my face, and I'm trying to get my cell phone to take this picture of my shawl, and of course my face got in it too. That would only be normal. And afterwards, as I looked at that photo, I thought, who is that woman? She looks so peaceful. I don't think she has any wrinkles. I mean, this is a close-up in the sun. If there were, rotten things all over the face, you would notice it, I thought. And I have noticed that sort of thing in other mirrors. But in this photo, I mean, the shawl didn't look so great, but the face of the person was a face of serenity, of peace. And I didn't know what I looked like that. I didn't know what I looked like that. But it was a day of absorbing the sun, the gentle breeze, the people around me, the curiosity of seeing people who had put all their stuff close to the water and the tide rushing in, and wondering if they were going to save their stuff in time, and wondering if I need to jump up and save it for them, and having those thoughts of, well, there's other people closer, it's their job to do it. So so much, right, that we understand about humanity and the way we operate and the weirdnesses that we do. But somehow to just absorb the environment around me, and to just be aware, it brought me a serenity into my very face that I don't think I have right now. Because I'm absorbed with other stuff that happened since that day. And so he said, most of the supply that we work for only feeds about 2% of our nature. That which feeds the other 98% is free for the effort involved in receiving. And he also tells us, if this 98% of our nature were habitually fed, the matter of taking care of the other 2% would be simple and easy. And so when we think about that level of activity, which is always happening within us and by us, of absorption, we realize, we become aware of how we are absorbing our environment and whether that's working for us or not. We've got lots of people. I remember back when religion used to be practiced, like you got to go to church or else blah, blah, I don't know, you go to hell. And then you would find those renegades who would say, nature is my church. And, good religious little girl that I was, it was like, it's just an excuse to go walking in the park. But they knew what they were doing, because that absorption of nature and the beauty fed them, and probably fed them better than the particular Sunday service that I went to, where I was told that I'm bad and a sinner, and that I need to, forever ask forgiveness, and maybe I'll get a little bit cleaned up on me. And so contrast the two different things that we can be absorbing. And let's move it up to today. What are we absorbing? Now, you all know you're on social media, or you're watching television, or seeing the latest movie, or reading the latest book, and whatever that is that we are doing, it is our immediate environment, and we are absorbing whatever is there, whatever is supplied through it. And how's that working for us? So we don't have to be just at this, descend to that level of vegetation and just say the world owes me a living and I'm not doing anything. But we could still be working for a living, or operating on many of the other different planes of action, and yet have a problem with receiving supply and abundance of good, because we are not aware of how we are absorbing our environment, and that infinite supply is using the law of absorption to get its good to us, but by our misdirected attention, we aren't getting the most out of what is supplied to us. And I had the weirdest experience. I've been dealing with, over a month ago, a little physical condition, which spiritually it was telling me to stop it. To stop the lifetime habit of doing a little more, doing a little more, doing a little more, and feeling a little guilty because there's so much more to do. Or you got some energy, let's do something else, And the way I defined it, this is me, the way I defined not doing a little more was, okay, now you're wasting time. So in my thought, my behavior, which I think you all would agree with, oh yes, look at her, she's doing all this stuff, accomplishing stuff, got all these goals going, blah, 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 blah. But what my head was saying was, this is just the way you are. You just have to do. Yeah, no spirituality. Yeah, that's there too. But we're habit of doing. And if I don't do, if I have a spare 3 hours where I don't do, I'm wasting time. And as I did my spiritual work around that physical condition I was, going deep in, I realized that judgment is in me, not in anybody else. I'm wasting time. I used to say, I sit around the house on a day off and just with my finger in my ear. It was another way of condemning the behavior of not doing. It was self-condemnation. Well, a lifetime, you could get away with a whole lifetime of that, but like all these things, eventually it's time to outgrow it. And so I've been practicing, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. And I keep hearing the call, and you've got some more energy. Why don't you finish this other project? Why don't you do this other little thing? And to just say, no, let it be. I did what I was guided to do today. It's enough. And then as I move into the phase of doing nothing, enjoy it. Let yourself be. So, and there's the back of my mind going, yeah, but you're not running any faster, and you're not, working on your ballet, and your knitting projects, nobody will ever get another knitted gift from you for the rest of all time at this pace, whatever. And, where did Italian go? I mean, all those thoughts, going on in me, and I have to consciously say to myself, let yourself be. Shut up. Let it be. Just sit in the sun, sit in the nature, and absorb the 98% of supply that's coming to us instead of going nuts over the 2% that you could possibly be. So a number of months, so here's the surprise, because I still don't know, there's something wrong with the facts of the matter. I began running again a few months ago, and I was surprised at how slow I was. And I was, I haven't run for at least 5 years. It could be longer, who knows? And I'm running slower than when I stopped running, and even maybe slower than when I ever first started running to begin with, 25 years ago, or whenever that was. And I'm like, well, I need to do some speed work and some fartleks and some, interval training and, go up a hill and go down a hill. And we need a long run. And, I'm reading the Runner's World magazines from 2006, which was, I guess, the last time I was running. But, because it's the same information. Nothing changes, You run. What more is there to know? But, with these past few weeks of just letting it be, I've had the time to run, but I didn't make myself do it. So you're not disciplined. You got your goals, you got to keep after it, right? And it's like, shut up. That's part of the shut up. Look, you got a physical problem. It's not, even though everything in you believes it's purposeful to take the action on your goals every day and stay motivated. Apparently, the information that I'm receiving from the universe is, no, stop it. So, I had joined a group that runs along the canal, and they've got 5K specifically measured out. And before I ran with them, I ran it myself. 5K is 3.1 something miles, whatever. And it took me 52 minutes plus some seconds. That's slow. That walkers pass me. And I am not exaggerating. You know you can walk faster than a 16-minute mile. But there it was. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get any faster. So a couple of weeks ago, I ran for the first time with this group, and it was clocked. They had a timer or whatever. And yeah, it took me 52 minutes. And I was running as fast as I could. And I said, Karen, just appreciate you were able to run the entire distance. That's what, that it's about your fitness. It's not about your speed, even though that part of me is like, shut up. Just enjoy. It's okay. All right. So that was a couple of weeks ago. In the interim, between then and now, I ran maybe 2 other times in 2 weeks, plus all the dance, plus blah, blah, blah. And I've been practicing let it be. So as I sit in the park and I don't run, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. So yesterday morning, I went to run the same distance again with the same group, and it felt like I was running the same speed that I was, and everybody passed me, and there were walkers ahead of me, and the dog and their owner was ahead of me, and the person with the baby stroller was ahead of me, and there were a couple people behind me, but there I was, all by myself, running my distance. And when I crossed the finish line, I crossed it in 46 minutes. That's 6 minutes faster. What? That's, in the running magazine, that is impossible to do. What was different? I had spent 2 weeks of letting myself be. Huh? I don't understand it. In fact, I don't even believe it. But I had my timer on my cell phone also going, and I could see it said 46. Something happened in the universe. There was some kind of time shift going on the past 2 weeks. I'm sorry. It doesn't make any sense. There's no human physical way one could improve 6 minutes in a 3-mile race in 2 weeks. And yet I did. So what Ingraham is telling us, and what is our homework until our next prosperity talk, or until forever, is this spiritual practice of practicing the law of absorption with intention. And so he says, you are a part of the entire universe. You are created in the image and likeness to God, who is all. Every law of supply applies to you in some way. The law of absorption or receiving does enter into the process of your supply. However, you are primarily a spiritual being, and you receive upon a spiritual plane first. Releasing to receive. That's what goes on with the sneeze. Sneezing is good. You're releasing. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it be. All right, so you are primarily a spiritual being, and you receive upon a spiritual plane first, at least. And here's our homework. Learn to receive the very essence of all the things that surround you. Absorb the very presence of life, love, wisdom, power, and substance, just as you might absorb the light of the sun or the warmth of the air. Wherever you go, absorb everything that is pleasing to your soul. Beauty, music, the odor of flowers. Learn to drink in everything around you that you can enjoy and appreciate. This is all vital and essential supply. It feeds your inner nature, and when inwardly fed, the outer supply will become more simple. And so our homework this week and the weeks to come over this whole, let's say for the rest of the year, but we've only got one law to deal with until the next talk on this, which will probably be in 2 weeks, right? So we're going to practice the law of absorption, which is to look at our environment, our surroundings, intentionally, and absorb the beauty that is in them. And if you find that you are facing the mansions that have the beachfront property, and you're not absorbing the beauty and the riches that you see in them, but actually thinking, well, come not me, then turn around and look at the ocean, which is there for you to absorb. It is there. In fact, you're in front of their house, blocking their view, receiving that beauty of the ocean, all of it, as far as you can see. And no one's standing in your way. Or, the beauty of life, it needs to be intentionally absorbed. That intention's coming from our spiritual level. And so what we want to do is absorb the spiritual qualities that are present in our environment, but we're so distracted by some news item that we heard, or by all this different stuff that we're seeing on Facebook, or the radio, what the radio said, or what the weather person is saying. All of that is in our environment too, but we're not vegetables absorbing. going, well, it's there. I mean, we know plants absorb their environment, and so if you curse them, they'll die. It's because they're absorbing that energy. And so we want to, with spiritual intention, be aware of our environment and then intend to absorb what is blessed in it. And if there's nothing beautiful in our physical environment, then we can call upon those resources of supply of the divine qualities that are within us, which does not require being present in the outer environment for us to absorb it. And so that's our spiritual practices, right? To contemplate on the divine, to meditate on the good, to close our eyes to the yucky looking world environment that might be there, and to see the inner beauty. That's our homework. And he promises us, didn't he? He said, where did he say it? Didn't he say it? If this 98% of our nature were habitually fed, the matter of taking care of the other 2% would be simple and easy. Let us therefore try to consider supply in its broadest and fullest sense. And so, our experiment, our spiritual experiment the next couple of weeks is just to notice our environment and to intentionally choose to absorb that which the divine is supplying us and let ourselves be fed. And who knows, maybe we'll all look a lot better with less wrinkles and more peace on our face when we come back together. Or maybe we all can run 6 minutes faster. And that's 2 minutes per mile faster. Wow. Maybe I'll run. No, don't go there, Karen. See, that would be, right, okay. We've looked not to do that. Let it be. Let it be.
Mind runs away with us.
Doesn't it? It's so inviting. It's so tempting. And so we're going to focus on that 90%, 98% of good that is around us and supplied to us. And then we will see. We will report to each other how the rest might have gotten provided without our working so hard at it. So, with that thought in mind, let Reverend Rich take us over with some, and let's absorb his music.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Come on now. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Let it be, let it be, yeah. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be.
Yes. right, so let's take a moment and I will read to you Ingram's meditation for this law of absorption. And so what I say in the first person, you know that this is for you, that this means you, I am. So, because a created universe exists, that which produced it must have been operative prior to and during its appearance. That same force must be operative in order that creation be sustained. If this were not true, creation would vanish. I am not a product of the world, but of the same operative principle that produced the world. Therefore, that force which sustains the universe sustains me. I am sustained, supported, and supplied by a self-operative process that sustains and supports the entire universal system. God, who is the sum total of all the visible and invisible universe, I am that I am, and beside me there is no other, is both the creator and the created. I am, then, part of God, and actually live, move, and have my being in God. My creator and sustainer is in me, through me, and around me. My creator is the life of my life, the mind of my mind, and the substance of my flesh. The divine is my immediate supply, and in the divine I find the complete support of my entire being. My supply is at hand. It fills me, surrounds me, and is poured out upon me from everywhere. Supply flows to me wherever I am and in whatever I do. My supply is constant and exhaustless, and I am richly endowed with all things in heaven and earth. I receive my invisible and visible supply constantly, and I am increasingly rich within and without. And so it is.
Let be, let be, let be. Let supply come to you. Let it be.
Yes.
Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let supply come to you. Let it be. All right.
All right. Awesome. All right, so that's it. So let me just say hello to all of you. Margit, Alan, Joaquina, all those who have joined us who didn't check in or say anything, hello, glad to see you. And we're over, we're out. So absorb some good this week. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.